Hey guys, it's Sarah and I'm going to get started on my February spread for my bullet journal. So I wanted to share that with you and kind of show you what January ended up looking like when it was completed. So again, supplies that I normally use are these, what are these called? Colored pencils. I use these colored pencils here. I've had them for a couple of years now. I've colored in some coloring books with them and just kind of do random stuff here and there. But these are from Fantasia Artist and I got them at just a craft store. And then I also use majority Flair pens. So these pens right here that you can get at any store, pretty much anywhere. I got mine at Walmart, I think. So that's mainly what I end up using. And if I do end up highlighting anything, I use these Kelly Creates aqua brushes, and they have this type of brush. It's like a brush. I can't even describe what it's like, but like a brush tip. That's what I was trying to say. And I got these at Michael's is where I got those. And I use those as a highlighter because, as I will show you, that's kind of how they work, and they do not bleed through the pages, which is amazing. And again, I have this little pen holder that I got at Books A Million. So that is what I'm going to be using. And then my black pen that I use just to write and to make my charts and stuff, I use a Micron 0.01 tip pen. So that's what I end up using. And this I think I got at Hobby Lobby. So this is a little bit harder to get a hold of. I can't just go to Walmart and get it, unfortunately. I wish I could. But I can't. So let me show you what January ended up looking like and kind of what I filled in here so far. And we'll start, I'll probably just do a basic flip through at the beginning of each one just to let you know, like, I haven't colored any of these in yet, so I didn't read any of those in January. I did have a few ARC requests that I put in, so I just made a little check mark next to it. I wrote down what I wanted to request, and then I would check it off when I actually sent the email to request it. Review books I have written here still, and I've checked off a few things that I have gotten done, so that's awesome. And for NetGalley, see, this is where the highlighting comes in. So I did read 4 books that I could highlight off of NetGalley, so that is pretty awesome there. And I just used the color green to go with the green in my title, and I used these aqua pen brush pens for that. I did read 1 backlist review book. I got to get to more of those. Books I've read so far, I have filled them in, and what I've done is, you know, I added the source and the genre, and then I did add a star rating too, because I thought it'd be kind of cool to see at the end of the year how many books I gave 5 stars and 4 stars and all that stuff. So I thought that'd be fun. So I just added a small little 1 square column there for the star ratings too. And then book list Thursday, video ideas, blah, blah, blah. I did mark off 2 Advent book for Lisa's side. And actually one of them, Beside Myself by Anne Morgan, I actually have read that in the past and I forgot about it. And then I looked back on my reading and I was like, oh, yep, I read that one. So I went ahead and highlighted it off because it is a book that I've already read. And then I did read The Ice Twins in January as well. So I highlighted that off. So that's awesome. I'd like to make some more of those between these 2 lists for February. One thing that I did add here, and this is going to be called Future To-Do List. And I saw this on Pinterest, and it's a stack of Post-its basically. And I have the month on the bottom, just written right there. And this is where I can put like to-do lists for the future. So for example, if someone says, hey, I want to buddy read this book for you, maybe can we do that over the summer? I'll be like, yeah, absolutely. So I would probably go to maybe June, lift it up, and then I have a post-it here and I can write buddy read blah, blah, blah with so-and-so on here. And that's just a reminder for me when that month comes along. Oh yeah, I'm supposed to buddy read this with somebody. Or, oh yeah, there's a readathon this month that I want to participate in. So I thought this would be a little bit useful. So hopefully it will. I don't have anything written down here right now as of yet, but I am excited to utilize that. So I will be filling in the title for this one today. And this page is a little heavy because I have a bunch of Post-its on it. So there is that. Okay, so January, let's see. I do need to fill in some more of these for all of the videos that I did post. And I did my book haul revisit. I wrote in all of our book list prompts here. and then the Buzzword Readathon. And all I did was write down all the books that I had options for, and then I highlighted the ones that I ended up reading. And that's it for that. So pretty easy. And then we're going to go into February, which I've already sketched out. It's going to be hearts all over the place. So I've already sketched everything. I am ready to go. I have little post-it reminders for myself. So yeah, I'm going to go ahead and get started. I'll probably start with this one here because this is in the front of my bullet journal, which is why I'm really glad I did leave myself a few pages blank that I could add things when I want to. I only have 2 pages left, so I got to be, or 3 pages actually, including this one. So I have to be a little bit careful moving on about what I end up putting in the front here because I only have 3 options left, but that's fine. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and put you on fast forward and get started on coloring and drawing all this stuff in. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and start with this one here, and this I'm just grabbing a purple. I didn't have a specific color in mind. I just kind of grabbed the first one I saw. And so this is for my future to-dos. Pretty cut and dry. That's really all I'm doing because I have those post-its there, and I have already started writing some things down on some of them, which has been nice. And a lot of it is going to be, you know, if I have any buddy reads that, you know, some of my friends and I want to do, I write it down on that month, and readathons coming up and all that. So I think it's going to be handy, I hope. Okay, so for January, I'm going to fill in a couple of these videos that I had posted. I just hadn't colored them in. That, you know, usually when I post a video, I'll color it in, but sometimes I get a little behind on just updating it. So I just went ahead and did that. And now for February. So one thing that I learned during this process was that this marker right here, this black Flair pen, for some reason takes forever to dry. The other colors dry pretty quickly, but for some reason the black takes a really, really long time, to the point where, you know, I thought it was dry because I let it, you know, sit there for quite a bit. And when I went to go erase, you know, some of my pencil marks over top of them, nope, it smeared. When some of the other colors that I've used, I could go ahead and get them erased, you know, a lot sooner, and it was fine. So not a big fan of the black Flair pen for these purposes. So this is the last time I'm going to use it like this, you know, just to kind of color or draw things out and stuff. I'll just use my micron pen that I use normally anyway. This does have a bigger tip, which I like, so I could get a micron that has a bigger tip. That's an option as well, so I may keep that in mind for the future. But all right, so I saw this image on Pinterest, so I will leave that link down below if you guys are interested in that. So I did kind of copy it from somebody, but I do like just having all, you know, like those big strands of hearts down. And the quote that I'm using is from Dr. Seuss, and it is, "You can find magic wherever you look. Sit back and relax. All you need is a book." So I'm going to go ahead and write that out, and I'm using a lighter purple to color in, or to write over magic and relax, and I wrote those in script. All right, so now I'm going to go ahead and color in these hearts, and I'm using a few different shades of pink and purple, and I'm just doing it extremely randomly. So no rhyme or reason for any of it. I'm just going to take one shade with my colored pencil and, you know, fill in a few here and there, and then I will move on to the next shade until they are all colored in, including the ones next to the February. All right, so now that is all filled in there, and I am going to go ahead and start working on my February reading area. I guess you could call it reading page, where I'm tracking what I plan to read, any buddy reads I have, arcs and review books, readathons, and then my wrap up. So what I end up reading over the month. And I'm doing the same thing as I did in January because I really liked it. I liked having the 4 squares blocked off for each category, and then having the month in the center there. Now I did put a piece of cardstock in between the pages here because I still had the black Flair pen that was not fully dry, and I didn't want it to bleed and the pages to bleed onto each other, so I just protected it with a piece of cardstock there while I worked on this next page, so I wasn't pressing any ink that's just going to smear. And I am using a tissue to clean off my ruler every so often, because my pens, you know, when I drag it across the ruler, it does usually get ink on it. And I don't want that to smear either, you know, as I'm moving it around and stuff. So every couple lines that I'm doing, I'm using my ruler to just wipe the ink off. Okay, so I have my 4 sections there. So the first one is going to be for ARCs and review books, and then I'm going to do buddy reads, readathons, and wrap up. So that's where everything is going to go. And I don't think I write them in on camera, but I will fill them in afterwards. All right, so this page here is for videos, and I like to make a page for videos because I get ideas for videos that I want to do, or, you know, just kind of my standard, like a TBR and a wrap up and, you know, a book haul revisit and a book haul and all that stuff. So I just want to make sure that I get those written down so I don't forget anything, and I'm constantly looking at them to remind myself, you know, to film them in time when I need to do that. So I'm just going to do that. And then for this next one here is book list. So this is the page where I'm going to keep a list of all of the book list videos that Lindsay and I are going to do for the month of February. We usually have them planned out pretty well in advance because we do like to kind of batch film those and have them ready to go for the month. So we are pretty good about, you know, making sure we know what we're going to do ahead of time. And all I'll do is, it's just going to be a list. So it'll be, you know, the first Thursday in February, this is the topic, these are the books I'm going to talk about type thing. So it's also a nice place just to kind of have my list ready to go. That way, when I'm ready to film, I don't have to, you know, think too much off the cuff. It's nice to plan ahead that way. All right, so now my book haul revisit. So this page is the same as last month as well. I really like the way that I ended up doing it last month, where I really watched my video on camera, and then I was able to keep track in my journal of the numbers and the stats and everything. And I just made tally marks to represent the books, you know, where they belonged, whether they were read, unread, or unhauled. Those are kind of my 3 categories that I count those for. So I'm making my 3 boxes here again, like I did last month, and I have the hearts, and I will also have a little spot on the bottom where it says total hauled, and I will put the total number of books that I hauled last February in that box down below. And as I'm filming that video, I will use this page to make my little tally marks to see what my final numbers were. And I just really like the way that it worked. All right, and I'm going to go ahead and color in the hearts here as well, and using just the same kind of shades of pink and purple that I used before. And again, just pretty random. And then the next one is going to be Contemporary-a-thon. And Contemporary-a-thon is the readathon that I'm going to be participating in for the month of February. So I am writing that out up here on the top, Contemporary-a-thon. And then I'm going to have the information down here and the challenges, and I will write all that in. When I made this page, nothing had been announced yet. So I knew it was going to be happening. So I just kept, I just got the page ready. And then as soon as all the announcements came out and everything, I filled it all in. And I knew who it was hosted by and the dates. So I just wrote that in there. Okay, so for this last one, I have 5-star predictions. Now, for our book list, we decided that we would have our next round of 5-star predictions come from suggestions from you guys, books that you thought based on our reading that we would give 5 stars to. And we have 5 of those books. We tried our hardest to pick the top 5. I think both of us had a couple little snafus in some of them, but as best we could, we picked the top 5, you know, the first 5 comments that were on those videos. So I do have 5 of those books picked out to read, and they are books that I can easily get a hold of, and it's not going to be an issue, or some of them I even already owned, so that was nice. And I'm just going to keep track of those here, and I don't write them in here. I'm going to go ahead and color these in, these stars, but
I have already gone in and written down those books and left a spot for me to put down what my star rating actually was for them, and then I will, check them off as I read them. But I've already read one and I'm currently reading a second, so it's going well so far. And that is going to be it for this one here. I'm going to go ahead and do a little flip through for you in just a second and slow it down a little bit, but that is my February. So I hope you guys enjoyed it, and please let me know if you guys have any questions. I hope you're enjoying these bullet journal videos. I really have been enjoying this bullet journal. It's been working really, really well for me. And I will see you guys again soon. Hope you have a great day. Bye.